Democrat MAGA joining us on the show. Hello, Democrat MAGA.
Hello, Brian. Number one caller, 7 years running. So anyway, two things. One, when I was putting my master class on Friday, when you're wrong and you don't know the answer, don't just pod me down and
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Can you be on topic, please?
Yes. So anyway, that was when you said DUIs are always felonies. The majority of them in Nevada are misdemeanors. The majority. So you're wrong.
First of all, there are DUIs in this country that are labeled felonies. We were talking about, I think, immigrants and the fact that people that cross the border illegally are not felons. It is a misdemeanor. So if you'd like to talk about something on topic, if you'd like to talk about something on topic today, that'd be great.
Yeah. So you were completely wrong. But on topic,
okay.
What do you think about the fact that Brian always says everyone's getting deported with no due process?
I didn't say, hold on. Stop the call. Once again, dumbass says something that I never said. I never said everybody that is being deported is not getting due process. So as I pod you, the reason why I pod you down, sir, is because you don't know what you're talking about, and you claim things that I say that I never said. There are people in this country that are not getting due process. I didn't say everybody that's being deported isn't getting due process. So let's start this over again. Since this guy wants to be factual and he can't spell the word, would you like to retract what you just said and then ask Amy the question all over again?
Okay, so Amy, do you believe?
No. You don't get off that easy. Why don't you admit you were wrong? And I never said everybody's not getting due process, dummy.
Okay.
I never said that.
You tell me you were wrong about the DUI that I.
Are you going to admit right now that you were wrong? Are you going to admit right now? Are you going to admit right now and say, yes, Brian, you're right, I was wrong. You never said everybody's not getting due process. Are you willing to admit that on this show?
You worded to say that majority nobody gets due process.
Are you willing to say that you were, excuse me, boy, this guy is just such an idiot. Are you willing to admit that, I'll ask you again for the fourth time, okay? Are you willing to admit that you were just wrong and you misquoted me? And then we could actually move the conversation on. Or is your ego going to be hurt just like just like the guy who puts on 8 layers of orange makeup every day? Are you going to admit that you were wrong? Say, okay, you're right, Brian, you never said that. This is now the 5th time I'm asking it.
Okay, so maybe not every single one.
Not maybe. You were wrong. Now go ahead with your stupid question.
So do you agree that this due processing that Brian just is horrified by it just can't be? You can't get due process for 8 million people the next day. The reason you have to leave the country is because you committed a crime. So for instance, you're not put in jail. So let me give you an example. Go back to the DUI. If I'm driving a car, I have a DUI, they put me in jail. I don't get due process right now.
Not true.
But they don't put me back in the car and say, continue driving.
This guy wants to come
here illegally.
Okay, Amy, I want you to answer. Okay, stop talking, dummy. Okay, I want Amy to answer the question. But before I do, this guy is comparing an undocumented immigrant to a DUI, which is, by the way, completely idiotic. I wouldn't expect any crimes. I wouldn't expect
what crimes should we enforce?
They're both crimes. So let's talk about a murderer compared to someone who comes to the country illegally with a misdemeanor. Dummy, be quiet. Be quiet.
Well,
you're an idiot. Be quiet.
What if your DUI actually did kill somebody?
Yeah, exactly. But he doesn't understand that.
Well, what if an immigrant just killed somebody? Same thing.
God, this guy is so stupid. It's unbelievable. All right. So first of all, let's be very clear on this. The overwhelming majority of the people in this country are not violent criminals that are undocumented. That is number one. It is a misdemeanor.
Correct.
Number two. Okay. Number three, if you want accountability for someone who commits a misdemeanor, then why don't you want accountability for someone who's in the Epstein files, who's a 34-count felon and adjudicated sexual abuser? If you want accountability for a grandmother in this country that probably has lived here for decades and decades, that pays her taxes. And by the way, in the Constitution, it says any person, which we've talked about before, Amy, it says any person deserves the right to due process, not any citizen. Now, I'll be honest with you, sir. I hope you don't get due process, and I hope you go to jail for not committing a crime, and then we'll see how it feels when you're separated from your
Not
families.
committing a crime. They committed a crime. It's up.
So if somebody commits
a crime,
okay, so where in the Constitution does it says if you commit a misdemeanor that we're going to deport you to another country, not the country of your origin? We're going to put you in an El Salvador prison and treat you like a violent criminal.
Less than 0.5%.
Oh, okay.
People.
So it's totally. So let's get this right. So okay. So his excuse is it's not a lot of people, so it's okay, sir. You are not, Amy. Go ahead. This guy is such a clown. Go ahead, Amy. Say what you want to say to him, but this guy is you're such a clown. You're not even worth my time.
Name me another
Go
country
ahead,
that
Amy.
will allow that.
Name me what college you went to, you uneducated, ill-informed MAGA idiot. Go ahead, Amy.
Well, I think that you already understand the way that due process works, Brian. So I don't really think this is an argument worth continuing. Do you use...
That's her nice way of calling you a fool, by the way, sir.
Do you use the words all and everyone?
Right.
Yes, but not in that context.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question, sir. No. It's my show. You don't call the shots. So I'm going to ask you a question, sir. Do you have any kids?
I do not.
You do not. Okay. Shocker. I'm surprised a woman won't have sex with you. But anyway, let's get to the important issue.
Oh my goodness, Brian.
I know.
I'm so inappropriate making a joke.
You need to move on.
I'm so inappropriate. See how upset he gets when I make a joke about him? But you don't ask any questions. It's my show, not yours. Get out of here. You know what? Amy's right. Get this idiot off my show. What I was going to ask him was, he's okay with, since it's not a lot of people, he's okay with some people not getting due process, sent to El Salvador prisons on misdemeanors. But since it wasn't a lot of people by his category of definition of crime, he doesn't care. So I was going to ask him if he had any kids. And I was going to say, what if somebody, God forbid, committed a heinous sexual act on one of your kids? Yeah. And then the defense attorney in court said, well, this doesn't happen a lot in society in this way, so let's just let this person go. You'd call me an idiot, rightfully said. So his defense of these people that are not getting due process, many of whom being sent to prisons outside their origin of where they were born.
Yeah.
It's horrible. I think most people would say it's terrible.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, and they're separated from the family. Most compassionate people would have that answer. But this fool, oh, well, it's not a lot of people. It's a very small percentage.
One is enough.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I know we disagree on abortion a little bit, but I think we also agree in that extreme circumstances like rape or incest, the woman should have the right to decide what to do, right? Right?
Sure. I mean, if it were one of my daughters, I would have, a very honest conversation, but I also know from my friends who've made that really tough choice, what happens to them emotionally and mentally forever. And so, you have to be able to hold their hand, not just while they're making that decision, but also continue to hold their hand after, because that's not just an easy decision to make, whether if you are pro or anti.
I agree. And should we be shocked that guy would probably say, well, it's a small percentage of people, so who cares?
Yeah.
That's really what he was saying. That's the argument to it. And it drives me nuts with these people.